Hi, I am going to talk about something that I've kind of thought about for a bit here and kind of wondered why. I just kind of wonder why everyone always seems so focused on the competitive side of 40K. Now, I am not a competitive 40K player at all. I would rather sit and have fun playing 40K than ever really focus on winning. Um, it's kind of the same way with modeling. I mean, all of my minis, except for except for my Ultramarines, all of my and my World Eaters, all of my minis are like my own custom paint schemes and such. And I understand some people want to go to a tournament and just be the best 40K player, but I feel like GW is just focusing on that way too much and leaving out the casual player who, while doesn't just go out and buy like whatever's the meta at the moment of minis, but they'll go out and get what they want instead, whatever's cool. Like uh what's a good example for me? Like my Norm Emissary. I went and got it because it was cool. I didn't think anything about, oh, how does this play or what's the rules on it or anything like that. That feels like it eats the fun out of the game. It's the same thing with my homebrew chapter. It being a bunch of relics from 30K. It's meant to be like that for the fun factor than it is to, obviously, there's some competitiveness to running that to a degree. I won't say that there's not, because you get more weapon options and like I think they have better stats. Don't quote me on that, I haven't looked at them recently in Legends versus what like regular Terminators have and everything like that. But that's not why I wanted to run them. I just like the look of Cataphracti Terminator armor, and it's gonna be the exact same way when I get Saturnine Dreadnoughts, because I'm not a gigantic, Saturnine Dreadnought and what's the other one? Saturnite Terminators. I'm not gonna focus on like, oh, I gotta paint and build this mini to this. I am going to kit bash the shit out of some Saturnite Terminators and possibly one of the Dreadnoughts and make both of them like a Chaos Dreadnought. I would give it Contemptor Dreadnought rules, because unless they give us rules for it for 40K, there'd be no other way to do it. And I mean, I'm gonna make some really, hopefully good looking kit bashes for the Saturnine Dreadnoughts for my World Eaters army. And that's not in the World Eaters book, obviously. And I think I know you can do a Contemptor Dreadnought in your World Eaters army through Legends rules. And I'm pulling up my phone app because I'm recording this while I just got some B footage for background playing the anniversary edition. Oh, I'm sorry, the definitive edition of Dawn of War, which is, I'm gonna make a video on that by itself. Let's see here. So I go to my list in here, and they are under, where are they? Where they're under infantry. Okay, maybe they're not. Is it? Oh, maybe I can't use them as Terminators, but I could kit bash them to be proper like World Eater Terminators. And I feel like if you were to do that kind of stuff and play casually with friends, casual tournaments, whatever, wherever you could play it with, you're gonna have more fun doing that than going to a tournament where you're facing a guy who's like, I must win because I'm undefeated right now, instead of being like, yeah man, I'm just here to have fun. Wow, I've never heard many I won't say I haven't heard any, but I've never heard many cases of people going to tournaments and be like, that was just terrible, I never want to do it again. I still want to go to a tournament. I do not want to go to Chicago for a tournament, that's for damn sure. And I would rather just much rather try to find a tournament scene that is casual entirely, because with what you see is what you get. I don't really do that. Now you can technically do that. So I'm going to use Blade Guard Veterans for example. If you're running all swords and shields and you don't have like any of your pistols out or anything like that, or your bolters, pistols, if you don't have any of your bolters out, you can change what the sergeant has, because he has 3 different war gear options. He has a heavy bolt pistol, a plasma pistol, and let me double check because I think he has another war gear option. Yeah, he has a Neo Volkite pistol option. So I don't understand. I understand when like you'd be like, oh, that's clearly a bolter, so you should have to run it as a bolter. I kind of do understand that, because people would get frustrated of trying to remember what's this. Like, I guess I don't have anything to really compare it to. I was gonna compare it to my infantry, my guard models, but I have them pretty much all set to be shotguns and a flamer with my engineers, my Krieg engineers. So I kind of understand some people don't want to try to keep track of all that, but if it's like a plasma or a Neovolkite, other than color, and if you want to be technical, color can be anything you want it to be. What's the difference? Other than a slight design change and the color of like the glow effect, there's not really much of a difference. So I feel like that should be entirely like, oh, I want this to be a Neo Volkite pistol instead. And I don't think anyone should really have a problem with that. The only reason they would have a problem with it is if they were to want to obviously win. But if it was all like, well, Neo Volkite pistol has devastating wounds and I don't want to have to fight that, so fuck you. You're gonna have to use a plasma pistol, which still slaps. I mean, I'm not gonna deny the power stopping of the plasma pistol. I run it on all of the Krieg that I have. The sergeants have plasma pistol. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. On all of my Krieg, all the sergeants have plasma pistols, and a lot of my ultramarines are the same way. They run plasma because plasma hits hard, and if you run into like tanks, like armor units, other than las cannons, you ain't got nothing to stop it. So I just figured I'd kind of put some of my thoughts on casual. I feel like GW needs to focus on casual play a lot more than competitive, because look, I'm not sitting there looking at data slates every 6 months to like be like, okay, this is the meta, or okay, these are the new rules. I am going to go grab my data cards and I'm going to use those, because I would rather grab data cards and use those than to sit there and look at my phone while I'm trying to play Warhammer. Now, I know you can print out the data cards. I know you can print out updates and stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having to not try to figure out, is this up to date? Is this up to date? Is this app up to date with the rules and stuff and the new balance update? Screw it. I just want to play 40K and have fun with my friends. And if somebody was to I would more than likely, if somebody was to be like, those aren't the proper rules, I'd probably be like, well, play by yourself then. I'm not gonna play with you. It would be more of just I want to play 40K for fun. And I feel like most people are like me, where they want to play it for fun. Some people don't necessarily want to play it. They just want to do models, and that's understandable. But I also think that their Games Workshop is losing a lot of its casual players, and that's because they're focusing on the competitive an incredible amount. I haven't played any Crusades yet. I've still got to get a Crusade book to figure out the rules. But like, I think, what's the last one? The Battle for Armageddon is the most recent Crusade, and I'm probably not going to play that because I want to create my own story with my friends, or my friend, because I only have one friend that plays 40K that lives near me and such, and I want to be able to tell a good story that'll be fun, that'll be entertaining for us, and eventually probably maybe film it and like put it up on YouTube here and talk about how much fun it was to sit there and play one game a week or something. Like, you know, try to do small games. We don't have to do gigantic, massive games that are going to last 3 hours long. That's not fun. It's really not. And I'll use an example to explain it the best. The last game me and my buddy played was like a 500-point game. It was one character mini, 2 infantry units, and a support unit, basically. And it was so much fun. It was literally, actually, let me scratch that. 1 battle line, 2 infantry, and a character mini. And that was so much fun because it came down to the wire. We played 3 rounds, and it pretty much led from me starting and pushing up, overextending myself, but yet I was playing world leaders, so I was able to cut him down pretty good. And then him proceeding to kill my battle line unit, kill off my exalted 8-bound, and all I had left was my character. And it came down to the wire, and that was probably the most fun. Now, he's not the greatest on the rules, and neither am I, because we're both still, I mean, we both have played maybe 4 games in total, and it was just more about having fun than it was about the game. I didn't care that I lost. He probably would have cared if he would have lost because he's super competitive, but I was just having fun. I was just having fun playing a game with my friend. That's what 40K should be all about, honestly, I think. And I think if GW doesn't focus on the casual player more, they're going to lose the casual player. And the casual player is, I would say, more than likely, the majority of the people that buy their minis. So I don't think there's any way GW can lose their casual player base and still maintain anything. Yeah, they're going to get new people. I understand that. But they're going to get new people who talk to the people who used to play 40K and be like, why'd you get out? And be like, well, it's for these reasons, whatever your reasons are when you don't want to play 40K anymore. As an example, well, I got out because all the rules kept getting updated so fast. I couldn't keep track. I only was able to play a handful of games a week. It just kept going too fast for me to actually sit and try to learn how to play the game, but yet try to keep up with the rules at the same time, like all the data slates, all the detachment rules and anything. And honestly, I would tell anyone that was getting into the hobby that I would tell them easily, focus on the things that are cool, because you're going to spend hours upon hours of painting minis, and you're going to spend a handful of hours playing games. Now, would you rather have something that's meta for, I don't know, a week or 2 or something before it gets like patched out? Or if we're going by the quarterly data slate updates, I don't know if that's exactly how long it is for each update for the balancing, but I'll say quarterly just as an example. Then by the time you get all those minis, because they're going to be sold out, I mean, they're not going to be in stock, that's for sure. I have Death Corps of Krieg, and I still cannot get regular Krieg infantry. I've been thinking, and I've started to supplement regular infantry with my kill teams for Krieg, because I can't get them. I can go to recasters, but I don't want to do that because 1, it's shady, and 2, I'd rather support the actual company that makes a game that I like to play. And I feel like GW needs to kind of get their shit together and focus on the actual players who will buy more than one army. Because, so my example, I'll use me as an example. I have 2 Space Marines armies. One's homebrew, the other's Ultramarines. I have Necron, I have Tyranids, I have Tau, not much, but some. I have World Eaters. Is that all I have? Krieg's the last one I was thinking of. And I got those armies because I thought they looked cool. I didn't get them because, reanimation protocol's broken where you can just reanimate a bunch of your guys, or like, I wasn't doing it for that. I was doing it because, that model looks cool. That model looks cool. I've started getting 30K models because I think they look good. That's what they need to focus on. They need to focus on making good models. And I'll say, the new, at time of filming, the new Nightbringer mini looks awesome. I kind of want that, but I understand it's going to be sold out for like the next month and a half because it's going to go on pre-order. Pre-order is going to sell out in 3 hours. And then once it actually hits the shelves, it might be available. But I mean, they do pre-order 2 weeks in advance, I think. I don't know the exact amount. And you get your hopes up to try to get this mini. Like, let me Google this. So I'm going to use this mini as an example. This is one that I wanted to get, and it sold out within 3 hours. I expected it. I wasn't planning on pre-ordering it at all. And it is the, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher this, the thrice devoured. I know this is wrong, but I'm going to say it anyways. Bergie. How do you say that last part? Erger, son? Anyways, it's the Tyrannid model. Not Tyrannid model. The Leagues of Votann mini with like the Tyrannid all over him and everything like that. That is such a cool mini. It sold out in hours. And I don't know how many they printed up. I don't know how many they sent out for pre-order. But I did not expect to get that mini because it looked so good. Same thing with the robots as well from the same release. I didn't expect to get those minis because I knew they looked good. Everybody's going to want them. I'm not going to try to rush to get them because everybody's going to want them. They're going to be OP or whatever, and then they're going to get demolished. So I'm going to wait and get them and try not to rush, maybe paint some more of my backlog before I go out and get even more minis that go onto my pile of shame, because I'm of course going to buy them and be like, I'm going to wait to paint these before I go and get more minis. And I mean, it's the same way with like all my 30K stuff. My 2 Praetorians and my Chaplain, I'm probably not going to paint those for a bit. I'm probably going to get a Saturnite Dreadnought box soon. I'm probably going to implement stuff into that. And I mean, I'm going to take my time in working on these because 1, there's no rush. And 2, I'm going to play them casually. So what does it matter if I get them done now while the meta's high, or I get them done in 3 months when they tanked the army because it was overpowered? I'm going to use... I'm a little salty about this one. I'm going to use my World Eaters as an example. They took away Advance and Charge. Now, as an entirely melee-focused army, that's pretty painful. That's pretty painful. I was hoping to get to play the Advance and Charged version of the Blessings of Khorne for World Eaters because I knew my friend, he didn't play much against melee yet. So like when I actually fought him, I knew he was going to be like, oh my God, and just not prepared. And then I went to I cracked open the book and saw Advanced and Charged was taken out. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because that's the most that's what makes sense. The World Eaters, they get in your face and they melee attack, but it was overpowered. So they took it out and it just utterly confused me. And I'm just like, oh, that's fine. We'll just play it like this. I have a Blessings of Khorne 3D printout thing because it's cool, and it was wrong because I thought I would get Advance and Charge, and they took it out. I'm pretty sure when the Codex released. So those are just kind of my thoughts on I think that GW should just focus on the casual gaming people because that's where a lot of their fan base is going to be. I mean, I'm more casual. I do stuff for YouTube about this hobby, but that's because I fell in love with this hobby so much that I wanted to make YouTube videos. I never wanted to make any YouTube videos before this at all. I thought about doing some stuff maybe, and that stuff might still happen. I might need to lose some pounds before I get on camera, but I like this hobby so much. I started a YouTube channel about it, and I'm not the only one who fell in love with this hobby so hard that they want to do YouTube videos on painting, lore, whatever. I know. I mean, there's countless lore channels out there, and I just want to have fun playing my game of Toy Soldiers, man. You don't have to make it super complex. You don't have to make it so sweats and tryhards are like just trying to take over the whole scene. If I wanted to play something with sweats and tryhards so much, I would go play Escape from Tarkov. I can't tell you how many thousands of hours I have in that game, and it is just getting kicked in the balls simulator, I swear. Anyways, I'm going to leave this video here. I know it's been a long one. I just kind of wanted to rant a little bit unexpectedly. Didn't expect it to turn into this. Thank you everyone who watches any of my content. Long form, short form. I always do appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.